President of Youth Science Forum and your MC for the day. Honorable Deputy Principal, Yang Mulia Cikgu Azrin bin Haji Bohasan, Deputy Academic Principal, Yang Mulia Cikgu Ko Kyung Eng, our beloved YSF Coordinator, Cikgu Siti Rohaini Muhammad Saleh, respected teachers, representatives of YSF alumni, Muhammad Aizat Irfan and Nur Ain Arisha, fellow students and friends. Before we begin, we would like to have Muhammad Shafiq Wafi bin Rahim from the religious unit of YSF to recite Surah Al-Fatiha.
إلى هداية النبي المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلى أرواح المسلمين والمسلمات كافة عامة. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Thank you, Shafiq Wafi. To begin our talk, we would like to have our President, Muhammad Afif Suhaib bin Haji Supri, to give his opening speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our beloved Deputy Principals, Cikgu Haji Azrin bin Haji Bohasan and Cikgu Ko Kyung Eng, YSF Coordinator, Cikgu Siti Rohaini binti Muhammad Saleh, honorary guest, YSF alumni, Muhammad Aizat Irfan bin Muhammad Azri, and previous President 2324, Nur Ain Arisha binti Muhammad Armus, tutors and students of Pusat Tingkatan 6 Betul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon everyone. Happy New Year, and welcome to the first YSF talk of many this year. My name is Muhammad Afif Suhaib bin Haji Supri, the President of YSF 2425. In this lecture theater here today marks our third YSF talk titled Blue Eco, Connecting Sustainability and Financial Literacy, presented by today's spokesperson, Muhammad Haikal Imtiaz bin Haji Khairul Adwi, a proud member of our Media and Publicity Unit. Please give him a huge round of applause, everyone. I hope that Haikal's talk will not only be intriguing to those curious, but also encouraging to all of us here today to play our part in paving the future of this country. That will be all from me. So with that, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and I will be passing the microphone back to our MC for this afternoon. Stand up.
Thank you, Afif. Today, Haikal will be sharing his knowledge, experiences, and insight on sustainable financial management, a topic that is increasingly important in our rapidly changing world. His talk will provide us with practical advice and strategies that we can apply in our daily life. So without further ado, let us put our hands together to warmly welcome our esteemed speaker, Muhammad Haikal Imtiaz bin Haji Khairul Azmi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Some of you already know me. My name is Muhammad Haikal Imtiaz bin Haji Khairul Azmi. I am one of Youth Science Forum's Media and Publicity Unit. And on 7th January, Alhamdulillah, I got the award for Best Male Educator for Sustainable Financial Management and the Step Center's Waste Smart Save More competition. Alright, I want to ask the audience, just say out the answer. When I say the word sustainability, what's the first word that comes to mind? Just say it. Just say it. It's like it. Just like Surat Al-Baqarah 18 nama Filipin, yeah? Alright, here I'm going to show you sustainability. Sustainability is about meeting today's need but compromising the future. Give me a raise of hands during break time. Who ate buttermilk chicken? Raise your hands. Yeah, many of you, right? So imagine if you eat buttermilk chicken every day for the next 5 years. definitely there's going to be health problems along the way, because of course BMC eaten regularly every day, it's not that good, right? So this is the same as sustainability. It's basically asking the question, if I do this every day, will it affect the future? So here I can show you the 3 pillars of sustainability: environment, society, and economy. All of this needs to be balanced together so that sustainability can be achieved. Let me give you an example here. If, let's say, economy, Brunei's economy is non-renewable gas, right? Oil and gas, right? If we care more about oil and gas, you've got the environment in mind, more pollution will be taking place, right? So it's not really good for the environment, but our economy will be up. But that's not good. We don't want that. Alright, here's the challenge we face in Brunei, right? The first one, just like the earlier point, we rely too much on oil and gas. Oil and gas is a non-renewable source. Yes. So back here, like 3 years ago, during the LabCo meeting is one of those serious meetings, right? Issues have been raised that says our supply can only reach about 2045. What happens post 2045? Let's imagine it. So, kurang work will be reduced and a lot of offloading, right? And that's the second point: low recycling waste and high waste. How many of you open up for your bulletin and then see these headlines here? Individual, and then your company gets fines, or let's just say, let's give you that. Especially family groups. Sometimes they send those viral videos of people littering. Yeah. Now the third point: limited public knowledge on eco-friendly actions. Let me ask one of the tutors here. Cikgu Kofi. Yeah. This photo, right? This photo. Have you seen it? Have you seen the photo? Yes. Maybe like 10 years ago, right? It's old photo. So it's about it's called Hari Tanpa Bag Plastic. So people that day would bring their own recycling bag. Okay, I want all the audience attention to look towards Arif. He will show you our YSF tote bag. We stand for sustainability. But let's be honest. If we see this, we rarely would care about this. We would still use plastic bag, right? See, so that proves the point that our society lacks the knowledge of being eco-friendly or ignorant. Right. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to manage money effectively. I have 3 points here: budgeting, saving, and investing. So the first one, budgeting, is just like allocating all the money in your month. Like you put expenses for this one, and for that one. The second one, saving. Saving, it explains itself. Just like the famous peribahasa, sediakan payung sebelum hujan, for saving. And the third one, investing. Investing is basically putting your money into investment. That's such as gold, and you can expect profit out of it. Alright, here I'm going to show you an example. You take the points earlier, sustainability, and also financial literacy, and you combine them into one, right? So here I have you an example. Right now, Brunei has this system, USMS system, the new system where they keep track of your money and water usage. So if we save our water and be aware of our electricity uses every day, it will save your money in the long run. When it saves your money in the long run, you get peace of mind because you have more money to spend towards something you want to use it. But to be honest, I just don't want my parents to get angry because I use too much electricity. Right? Next. Alright, here's the main part of the talk today, the Brew Eco. Brew Eco is my conceptual app that I sent to the Waste Not Save More competition. Brew Eco is just a conceptual app. It's not real. Conceptual app empowering Brunei and to live so that Brunei lives sustainably and while enhancing financial literacy. So we have the 3 goals here. It's from UN's 17 SDG goals that was released back in 2015. It actually aligns with Brunei's 2035 vision. So here I show you good health and well-being, affordable and clean energy, sustainable cities, and communities. It will link more forward during my talk in the next parts. Alright, what is Brew Eco's remake? What makes it special? What is its specialty? So here is the G coin. The G coin is basically an incentive or currency given doing tasks in the app. So it's like it's the main currency of the app. You can use it for the Brew Eco catalog, such as getting coupons. So how do you get it? The first one, distance walk using the step tracker in the app, and daily and weekly missions. Right, here are the Brew Eco's phases that you will evolve. I'll explain this more in the next part. The first one, the phase one, the step tracking app. The step tracking app is the earlier phase of Brew Eco. It will mainly focus on the habits of Bruneians in recycling and also our physicality in our fitness. There's walking, running, and overall how our fitness based Brunei. And the next one is the launch community challenge to engage users and promote shortcut adoption. Just like in the early points, there will be daily and weekly missions. These daily and weekly missions can be done such as daily ones. It's like you walk 2 kilometers and you get G coins. The weekly ones is like cleaning up the beach. So you can bring all your friends together in the app with a link, and then you can get G coins as a group. So other than getting the G coins, you can Zatorahi. Alright, the leaderboard. We want to cater to all of the users. So what better way than to make it competitive? Here we introduce ranking systems with G points when you do daily and weekly challenges. When you do the daily and weekly challenges, you get the G points, you raise up the leaderboards. It will also implement streaks and that can be compared to TikTok and Duolingo. Here's the example. This is me and my friend's streak, and this is the Duolingo streak. The Green Smart Bank. This is the phase 2 of the Green Smart Bank. So Green Smart Bank, just imagine a vending machine. The vending machine, you can put old recycling oil and also old bottles. In Germany, they also have these types of machines. When you put in the bottles, you get your money back. So the features here, recycle old cooking oil. Alright, take a look at the picture. Imagine that's our ocean. And imagine if you pour oil into it, it's not going to be nice. Green supermarket. Can anybody tell me what's the problem with Brunei? Let's say in health-wise. Just say.
Too much junk food.
Yeah, too much junk food leads to obesity, right? Obesity, no good. So the green supermarket, we try to promote eco-healthy habits in the market, such as introducing healthy goods, which the healthy goods are going to be sold by homegrown, because we want to support our local growers, right? Our local farmers. And we want to produce green vending machines that sell healthy foods in schools and also in business spaces. Phase 4, the green city. The green city is one of the hardest to achieve right now, especially even in countries in Asia. Singapore is the leading one in the green city department there. So the goal here, integrate Brunei into a state-of-the-art green city. I'm talking, maybe let's say imagine PTED, but we no longer rely on renewable gas for energy. We have like solar panels on the roofs, that type of idea. So we depend less on fossil fuels. So Brunei needs to have renewable energy like solar panels as the future. Next one, build green buildings, and the third one, low carbon footprint levels. I advise you to study on these topics, especially for EGP, in July. Alright, I have a question. Let's read this. Just read this, yeah? How long can Brunei's youth continue to live comfortably, relying on government-provided advantage before the need to self-sufficiency becomes clear? Very wordy. I'm just going to explain in simple terms. How long can we live as Bruneians under government's care? Are we to the point that we're so comfortable living under the government's protection, under the government's benefits, that we forget what it's like to work harder? We want to strive harder. Just let that sink in, right? You're probably wondering, right? What am I trying to say actually? I created the concept of an app, but it's not real, man. It's not real. So, Brew Eco was actually never about trying to make the app real. It's about the idea of the app. Why? The idea can be started by any of you. I believe that people, once they have an idea, everyone is equal. nothing's going to change it. Like, once you have an idea, the only thing that separates you and the other person from the idea is how hard you work towards that idea. So, that proves to my next point about us as youths. Us youths are the innovators. We are the building blocks of the countries, especially towards Brunei's 2055 vision, right? So, here, I show you, Brunei's youth have the creativity and drive to change. Why? Because kami, as the youth, we have the semangat to continue Brunei's legacy. Because why? The youth, we bring fresh perspectives, because we are also tech-savvy generation. So a tech-savvy generation would also have a lot of new ideas. Next one, we are also problem solvers. And the third one, we are risk takers. And we are very brave, especially if you see most of the youth, they start their own businesses. Right. Moving forward, as Brunei's youth, we have to be open to change. We can no longer live inside the delusional bubble that everything will be fine in our country. Because, to be honest, what if in the next 5-10 years, all the government benefits go away, and we no longer have these good types of scholarships, no longer have subsidized oil? That's going to be hard. So we have to be open to change. The next one, we have to be active in youth programs and voice out. Voice out your opinions, voice out your ideas. I'm sure inside all of you, there's actually a lot of good ideas. You just have to empower it. And the third one, we have to be self-aware. Why be self-aware? We have to be responsible. We can no longer still point fingers at people until the need for us to change starts. So here I show you a Greek quote. No. Alright, here I show you a Greek quote. A society grows weight when you plant trees in whose shade you shall never sit. I'm going to explain this simply. The Greeks say that you know you'll succeed when the next generation benefits more than you. Just like, say, our tutors here, right? They planted the tree, they planted the seed of education. The education will grow and will benefit us, right? So, if we plant our own individual seeds, I'm sure the next generation will benefit more greater than us. Alright, here, I'm sure most of you know the matrix, red pill, blue pill. So, I give you, not me, I'm not giving you a choice. You're giving yourself the choice. The first is blue pill, continue to live ignorantly. Right. Once we step out of this LTT right after my talk, you can choose the option to just take the easy route. All my talk right just now, what I said, becomes zero, nothingness. But the second one, small efforts in being sustainable, the red pill, we start being sustainable little by little, even as small as switching off the lights when not in use. Because in the end goal, it's going to benefit us more than not doing anything while like taking the blue pill.
Thank you, Haikal. What an incredible and insightful session we just had. Haikal insights into managing resources wisely and building a sustainable financial future are lessons we can all take to heart. Thank you, Haikal, for reminding us that even small steps can make a significant difference. We will now pass the floor back to Q&A sessions with Haikal.
I open the floor to any questions that you would like to ask. Iman.
So, this is a question that's related to the talk, but it might not exactly be 100% part of it. So the question kind of goes like this. What international significance would Brunei have if we became a green sustainable state?
Alright, that's a wonderful question from Iman. Imagine if Brunei hits the 2025 goal that we all hit. Remember the talk yesterday, right? You got the 3 points that Cikgu Rohaini pointed out, right? Imagine if we hit all 3 of those. We will gain more international What is this? Banyak orang akan tahu Brunei ini is a good country. If a lot of people know Brunei is a good country, they would be open to give us more benefits, such as scholarships, and then scholarship, more job opportunities out of Brunei that benefit the country as well. Does it answer your question, Iman?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Let's ask the question.
I have a question on behalf of all the students here. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are aware of what is sustainability. Can you explain that, Haikal?
Alright. That's like in the talk. I explained what sustainability in simple form, right? Sustainability is basically what you do today and how it affects the future. Keep it in mind. What you do today and how it affects the future. Let's take an example. If we keep using renewable oil, non-renewable gas every day, right? How long can we keep doing it until it finishes? That's it. It finishes. It's finished, right? Will it affect the future? Of course it will affect the future. Why? Brunei will no longer have oil and gas. No longer oil and gas, our economy might plummet, sadly. Economy might plummet, harder times. We don't want to have harder times for our next generation, right? We want to keep these good times flowing, right? Yeah? Does it answer your question, Lukman?
Yes. Any more questions?
How about the tutors? Do you have any questions?
Aizan have a question.
Oh. Of course.
How can financial literacy drive the long-term sustainable practices in society?
How can?
How can financial literacy drive the long-term sustainable practices in society?
Alright. And in the talk just now, I pointed out about financial literacy and the 3 points just now, right? And then how it links back to sustainability. And I gave the example of saving water and electricity. So how does that help in the long term? It helps in the long term because when you save that money, right? If you're doing this, how do I say this? Because when you know how to use the money effectively, right? Especially in sustainability, just like saving electricity just now, we save the money then, if we save the money in the long term, we are being sustainable for money. Because if the long term, right, we actually save more money. That's basically how I can say it. Because you can also do your own research on this because this is a quite deep topic. And I'm sure you're going to find a lot of articles, and once you read the articles, you'll get more and more like knowledgeable. Yeah? I'm sorry if it's quite unexplainable because it is a very hard topic.
Hello, Rob. I'm sure that this innovation of yours wasn't a simple process. Myself, of course, this person also participated. It took a couple of weeks, maybe a long time to come up with the invention itself and trying to make it more unique than others. What I want to ask you is that what was your source of motivation? What made your brain go, aha? What was that eureka moment for you? And what made you decide that Blue Eco is the idea that you want to go with?
Okay. I'll just tell you a short story. It's actually because about my mom. My mom told me that this generation of Bruneians, dorang ni tahan pukul. Sekejap kena bagi problem, we always got to spoil, right? So then I think, how do I relate Bruneians' youth with our goals in the future, right? Then I took a look at the 17 sustainability development goals of UNN, right? And also Brunei's premier goals, right? And then I took a look, and what link does it have, right? If kami as a whole, right, kami bersatu, right? If kami bersatu, you might actually achieve a lot of things. So Blue Eco just now is just like the idea that with financial literacy, we can strive to be more, even if it's simple as financial literacy and sustainability. Does that answer your question, okay? Yeah.
Looks like we have one slot for another question. the boys already asked a lot of questions, so if the girls or the teachers want to ask the question, please do so. Okay, Michelle.
What do you hope to achieve in terms of financial sustainability in the next 5 to 10 years?
Basically, thank you, Michelle. What I want to achieve with sustainability and financial, right? Yeah, I want in the next 10 years, Brunei's economy meningkat. I want the economy to be higher than it was today, right? But as well as that, I want to see more Bruneian buildings adopt the idea of being green, as well as adopt the green buildings, such as using solar panels for roofs and stuff like that. Does that answer the question? Thank you.
Thank you, Haikal, for the wonderful answers, and thank you everyone for showing your enthusiasm to the Q&A sessions with amazing questions. To all those present, I hope today's talk has sparked a greater awareness and interest in sustainability financial practices. Haikal, you may take a seat. Thank you. Before we move on to the certificate presentations, on behalf of Youth Science Forum, we are pleased to have our Vice President 2, Teo Kaidun, to announce the release of our new November-December newsletter.